So remember, they're changing my voice. Imagine people provoking you just because they're severely ill, because they come from a long line of people that abuse people throughout history. Social clubs, gentlemen clubs, secret societies, corporate groups, government groups, military industrial complex groups, what have you. Corrupt cops, political groups. And they raped people and they abused people. And so they edited my pictures and they fumed and poisoned me and went way out of their way and colluded with my family to throw me off. Moving in the middle of nowhere, making sure my house stayed a mess. And people say, this is my house, I'll put things where I want. Things like this. My family did a lot of things, that were respectable, blessed me with a lot of things. And they worked with the CIA and the government, to try to maintain the image game of the state, right? The projects and what is projected. Sabotaging the black man is something that every American above the age of, say, 12 years old is 100% satisfied that it goes on. Okay? It's something everyone in America agrees about, not necessarily openly, but certainly they understand that happens. Okay? It's like saying slavery never happened to say that there's not a bunch of racist people, white Jews and LGBT people that sabotage black people, and quite often, just as you would expect them to do, right? Good cop, bad cop psychology. They pretend to be on their side and sabotage. Pretty straightforward. So when you see the kind of wrinkled martial art outfit, when you see them interfering with my exercises, changing my shape, know for sure, ladies and gentlemen, that they did that so they could argue that the white, the Jew, the Asian, etc., people who are allowed to look good in regards to martial arts, token minorities, but quite often, they're not that, they don't have that much romantic appeal. Wesley Snipes, Michael J. White, they have the kind of occult clown elements to it. Look at Wesley Snipes in Blade. It took away from his martial appeal. I didn't even know he was a martial artist. I just thought he just took movie martial arts until I was like, 30 or so, They did a lot to take away from the appeal of the black man. So when you see this picture on the screen, you see, oh, why is his uniform wrinkly? You know what I'm saying? Because they made it hard for me to do things like go to the dry cleaner. Made it hard for me, they pester me when I do things, so I wasn't inclined to iron my clothes. Had women shunning me, so I sat around a lot feeling bad. So when you see the effects of sabotage, should we then reward the other side and say, hey, their philosophy is superior? They're bootlickers that weren't sabotaged. It's that simple. And to not get that is extremely disgraceful. Imagine if you're sitting at a meeting with the wisest people that ever lived, from all the generations there were, okay? And your argument is that you shouldn't penalize the other races for not going as far as black people did in regards to civil rights, in regards to true character. That you should just say, hey, you know what? How they look in their pictures is all that matters. You think a wise person can respect that? You think a smart person could respect that? You think a man of character could respect that? It is profoundly dishonorable for them to pretend that they're equal or better than I am. Imagine if somebody ran a mile in 2 minutes and the next fastest was around 4 minutes or so. Should you pretend that you're just as fast as that person? That's fucking pathetic. You see what I'm saying? It's not just wrong, it's fucking pathetic. So not only do I reject all claims that other martial artists were anywhere near comparable, I think it's fucking pathetic to make that argument. It's racist, it's spoiled, it's cowardly, it's beta, it's punk, it's sissy, it's pansy, it's namby-pamby, okay? Extremely disgraceful, pitiful, dishonorable, disgusting, abhorrent. It's unbelievably stupid, retarded, and inferior. It is the essence of inferior to pretend that I'm not the top martial artist. What the hell for? So you can mock God, so you can mock the idea of martial arts, can you mock the idea of all the righteous that ever lived? So you can mock all the black people that died for what's right, who were sabotaged. You can mock Jesus on the cross. You say, well, Jesus had a crown of thorns and some kind of red robe on. And he doesn't look as good as my Chic magazine pagan guy over here. It's fucking pathetic. You think I wouldn't outmaneuver Jet Li in no time fast? You think with a dagger on my waist, with a razor sharp sword, okay, and another short sword, I wouldn't outmaneuver him and cut him wide open? You think with 2 daggers, I wouldn't outmaneuver him and cut him wide open if he had a sword? With 2 knives, rather. I'm that much more great of a martial artist. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, you name it. Wesley Snipes, you name it. Michael J. White, you name it. They would never have a fucking chance. A snowball would have a better chance in the fucking core of the sun being teleported over there than they would have a chance against me. I give them 10 seconds tops before the fatal blow is dealt, okay? And it's done. So it is fucking retarded to look at this sabotage campaign against me and then to say, hey guys, I think this was a good idea. Or hey guys, doesn't that mean that have more appeal? Let me tell you, I'll end this by saying one quick story. There was once the most gorgeous woman that ever lived. Beautiful woman. A queen, virtuous woman. There were a bunch of raggedy guys who looked fairly attractive from a long line of rape cult fucking scum. And there was a bunch of privileged, slutty women who were allowed to look more attractive than many women in many ways. But on the inside, obviously, they were petty-ass scum. And the beautiful woman was not preferred because she was sabotaged. The guys who were scum, but allowed to look more attractive and had more money and healthier than the other guys, they went for those females who were allowed to have more wealth and look more appealing, who weren't sabotaged. There was a wise man who was more handsome than the other guys. Guess who he chose? He chose the female who was naturally the most beautiful, who was sabotaged. He helped her get her game together, helped her get her, not game, forget the game, helped her get herself together. And he stood with her. And as the jealous saboteur slime with the lowest DNA possible came together to screen them out, they had the most romantic love story that ever lived in reality, the most romantic existence in reality, and then they were gone. The moral of the story is, how come when we put it in terms of a female, all of a sudden you get it? Why is that? And the moral of the story is, don't be a stupid-ass, airhead-ass bitch or some stupid punk-ass motherfucker allowed to look good. Under no circumstances, except being allowed to look good. Under no circumstances, betray the most righteous person ever. Under no circumstances is that a good idea. And the type of filth who are like, look at me, why he's sabotaged, utter scum. Type of filth who are like, I have billions of dollars, scum, millions of dollars, scum. I have an attractive female, scumbag. I'm going to play stupid, fucking pussy, scumbag, coward. How could any of you not understand that, even for a moment? How could at 5 years old, if we were in the same class, you didn't understand that? I slap you across the fucking face. I throw you on the ground. Okay? I'd wrestle you down in a headlock and say, what the fuck's your problem, you bitch-ass motherfucker? At 5 years old, and you call yourselves men and women? Disgraceful.